Yeah,
Oh,
Ruth.
I'm going first?
Yeah, you can go. You can go
Oh,
first. Yeah.
okay, great. So I'm Ruth Shwiki, the legal guardian of Rosa Shwiki. My mother is at the Maimonides Donald Bergman Hospital in Côte Saint-Luc. She's been there for almost 2 years. She is completely incapacitated. She needs care for everything, to dress her up, to feed her, to to feed her. It takes up to between 40 to 50 minutes. There is no way my mother had a proper meal since Saturday. They do not have the manpower. Also, I have not heard from them other than Wednesday when my mother was totally unresponsive because she has now a blood hydrated. She is now on an IV. She has on an IV and a catheter with antibiotics. So right now, my mother's basic needs, as in water, have been violated, and her human rights are not being met. So I am not asking to go into the hospital. What I'm asking for is for them to reconsider their decision on allowing the caregivers at least to go help the staff. The staff needs a lot of prayers. They now have to choose between who they're going to let live and who they're going to let die.
That's scary.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Ruth. Daphne?
Government information.
So, Daphne, your turn.
Sorry?
So,
Well,
your turn, yeah?
I'll speak at the end if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. Who else speak English?
Tanya.
Me, I
okay,
speak
yes.
English too.
Yes.
Tanya?
It's Serge that's speaking now.
That's sorry, Tanya first. Sorry, Serge.
Yes, because my mom has needed assistance for her 3 meals a day for many years now. I absolutely need I need them to allow either a private caregiver or one of my mother's children to feed my mom. It could be once a day or it could be twice a day instead of 3 times a day. I'll sacrifice that. It could be limited to a certain amount of time. Let them follow me, verify if I'm adhering to any security protocol, whatever they want, because right now they're not wearing any protective clothing and they're taking the metro. Let me tell you, I asked them and I taped them. I'm sorry, but I just find we have to install a camera right away because I didn't have a chance to do that. And they can charge me and order it through Amazon and install it, fine. I'll be happy with that. I want them to have, I want to have contact with my mom through an iPad. I want to be able to talk to her. And I want them to open the radio because she's psychologically affected right now. We used to open the radio every morning. I want them to adjust the posture. They cannot. I used to adjust her posture every morning before going to work or every second morning because she has severe dysphagia. She could choke on her saliva. And you know what? If there is a threat of COVID, it's through us that we're going to improve their immune system, through my orange juice, through my vitamin C and my chicken soup. It's not by depriving them of help. The threat of COVID requires our help. And I think that actually it's ironic. It's the opposite. And I want to know, as soon as there's a COVID case, I want to know. And if I'm not there to see my mom's les plaies de lit, the whatever, I'm not gonna know. I used to check my mom's body and no one's gonna tell me if there's a plaie de lit because they're gonna say, oh, this is not a plaie de lit yet. It's number 1 on the scale, number 2 on the scale. They're gonna wait until it's very bad before they call me. And I used to touch my mom's forehead to know if she had fever because no one calls me if she has fever.
Tanya,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
I get so.
All right, Serge,
oh,
you can go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Serge Leblanc. There's a big lack of organization in the CHUS. There's a lack of people working there, and they should allow at least one member of each family to go and take care and at least take a look at their mother or father that are stuck in that situation. Those people should be treated with a lot more respect than that. That's what I think.
All right, thank you. Jeanette, you wanted to talk?
I have to speak in English?
Well, yeah, this part, yeah.
it will be the same thing that I said in French anyway, because I
That's
don't
fine.
say everything. I was asking myself about the hairdressing salon inside CHSLD. You know, these people came from the outside. They are they make hairdressing, coiffure, with contracts. Okay, so every day they come from the outside and they get into the CHSLD to I don't know.
Really?
Dis en français.
Styling, and what are the rules about these people? Are they supposed to wear protection clothes? We don't know, and I'm very curious about that, because everybody in CHSLD will continue to have hair cutting and things like that, you know. And so, what are the rules for these people?
Thank
you.
I worry about that.
All right, thank you. Who else wanted to talk?
Okay,
Say
Nicole.
Nicole. Yeah, Nicole, you can go ahead.
Okay. Well, in our series, I have to acknowledge that we're having a conference like the QT with the directeur adjoint de SAPA. They are doing a weekly conference to inform people of what's going on. I suggest people to write to the coordinator who's in charge of the installation to ask to raise these questions. I did this, and this way, I think it's what is scary for us family mainly. It's the lack of information of what's going on. So I encourage the ongoing communication. I even suggested that the comité de résidents could be the one like volunteering of calling family or spreading information. I know there is the confidentiality thing, but giving information about what we do in this or this case and or that case. I think the information for me is the key.
15
and
seconds.
I urge that.
All right, thank you, Nicole. Aline, you wanted to talk?
Yes, so my name is Aline. I take care of my mother who has mixed dementia. So she has cognitive and physical disabilities. She has been in institution for the last 2.5 years, and since she's always had someone with her. If it's not me, I have caregivers with her around 7 hours a day to help with meals, because if we're not there, she does not eat, and to help with the medication, because again, if we're not there, she either doesn't swallow her medication or just spits it out. So we are not there for simple visits. We are there to provide support, because the staff is extremely busy and has very limited resources. So we compensate for what the staff cannot do. What I find very stressful is that in the last week, I've written several emails to the heads of the CHSLD, have not received a single response. I've written also to Marguerite Blais with no response. I just need them to give us at least some leeway. We would apply the same strict hygiene measures as the employees. And if they could just at least allow one person to go on a daily basis, just to make sure that our family members are safe.
All right, thank you, Aline. Anyone else wanted to talk in English?
I would like to talk.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
I'd like to say I'm the vice president of the organization, nonprofit, Handicap Life and Dignity. And we are very concerned about the conditions. We were concerned even before the virus that the conditions were not good in long-term care institutions in Quebec. And now we feel that the conditions are worse and that people are suffering a lot. And we know that now that the caregivers are not allowed to go into any of the long-term care institutions, and that this is a big problem for some of the residents. I know also that the governments of Vancouver and Ontario are allowing caregivers to go in, but in Quebec they have no legal status. So we would like to request that this happen, that they do be allowed to go in now. We feel that some of the residents are suffering because of this. Also, the accreditation process is supposed to be maintaining high standards, the accreditation process of Canada, and we're concerned that they're not equipped, they're not measuring whether or not in a pandemic crisis
15 seconds.
Situations allow. That's it. Those are the
Thank
main
you.
things.
All right, thank you, Daphne. Anyone else wanted to talk? No, I guess I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead. I can speak a bit. I think we need to be rational about this whole thing, because right now it's like they apply this rule that no visitors is allowed with next to no other rules. We need to mitigate the risks globally for people inside, and the employees are a major risk factor. You know, the employees are not magical beings who cannot be infected. Actually, up to 30% of people who get the virus don't show any symptoms. So it's very easy for a worker to infect patients in many units, care units, in many establishments. And this is a real problem. You know, workers should stay put on the same unit and work there during the pandemic, not be moved around inside a CHSLD or work in many other facilities. So, and we need to enforce social distancing rules inside the facilities as well. There are many things that can be done to reduce the risk, but the government, all it does right now
15 seconds.
is to say no to the visitors. And it seems like it's the magic bullet. It's not. We can do a lot more.